Today was the Senate Banking Committee's hearing on Facebook's new Libra cryptocurrency. There are a lot of takeaways from today, one of the main ones being that the committee does not trust Facebook. Another takeaway was the rampant hypocrisy, as committee members chastised Facebook on their privacy violations, while at the same time applauding the government programs that violated that same privacy. But we'll talk about that in another video. There were some smart comments made, and I'll go over those in another video as well. This video is going to deal with my favorite facepalm moments. Overwhelmingly, it is clear that the people on this committee did not understand cryptocurrency at all and did not understand the Libra cryptocurrency in particular. I can't blame the politicians for not understanding this tech. This is not their speciality, and it's up to people in the community to be educating them more. It's going to take a while for them to wrap their head around this project and to fully understand it. A lot of the questions were just in the form of angry shouting at David Marcus, who was the Facebook representative at the hearing and who is in charge of the Libra project.
Somebody is going to have the data on all of the financial transactions that those 200 million people have consummated, which is going to indicate what they're buying, what they're not buying, what their likes are, where they like to shop, just a treasure trove of information.
Senator, when it comes to the Libra Association, they will not have any personal identifiable data, and as a result, they will have no way to
Somebody will have the data. Who'll have the data?
The wallets that will provide the services will have the data for their own wallets.
Why, with all of your problems, should we trust you on something as important as a worldwide currency and the damage that can come from it?
Senator, this is why we've set up Libra the way we have, which is that we will not control it, and we will be one among 100 different participants that will govern over the network and the currency.
These people are a great example of the ongoing confusion that permeated the hearing. They couldn't wrap their heads around the difference between the currency and the wallets. They also didn't seem to get that there'll be multiple companies building these wallets, and that the wallets are very distinct from the Libra Foundation, which isn't building any of these services. So question after question, they keep asking the same stuff. And Marcus keeps trying to explain why their question doesn't make too much sense.
When I deposit money into a bank, I am very confident that I can withdraw it from that bank, okay? My grandfather was not, by the way. What kind of faith do we have in Libra?
Libra is actually going to be backed by a reserve, one for one, so it's not ever going to be a fractional reserve.
Okay.
And as a result, it is designed to be stable and retain its value.
I got that.
Actually, I don't think he got that at all.
So in 2008, as the ranking member pointed out, there was a run on the banks. There were some big companies that went belly up, including 157 banks, Lehman Brothers, WAMU, Bear Stearns, and others. Nobody anticipated there would be a run like there was. Nobody. How can you assure us? And by the way, I still felt confident that my money was safe in my bank. How can you make those assurances?
How can we be assured that our money's going to be there? Because I've had issues with banks that I've really trusted, where people thought they had the money and they didn't. Actually, if you understand how fractional reserve banking works, then you wouldn't expect that they're going to have the money, because you know that they only have a fraction of the reserves needed to cover people taking out money.
How can we be assured that our money is going to be there?
Senator, when it comes to Libra, because the reserve is actually one for one and not fractional, the issue we've had in the events that you highlighted were because some of these institutions didn't have the appropriate reserves.
Didn't have, okay.
And we also want the appropriate regulatory oversights to ensure that anyone will have the ability to understand how big the reserve is and how many Libra coins, if you will, are in circulation at any given point in time, to rest assured that the value they hold is backed at any given point in time with the same amount in the reserve.
Again, this is one of our experts on the Banking, Housing and Urban Affairs Committee.
It's not up to you guys to determine what that reserve is.
You tell him. But then you get this guy. Not only is he really confused, but he's super condescending and keeps asking stupid questions that David has already outlined don't really make much sense.
Can we agree that a banker should be trustworthy?
Yes, Senator.
Can we agree that a banker should be honest?
Yes, Senator.
Can we agree that a banker should respect a customer's privacy?
Senator, yes, of course, but we are not going to engage in banking services.
Can we agree
That's
that,
what you're asking.
that Facebook knew in the spring of 2016 that Russia was attempting through Facebook to disrupt the U.S. presidential election?
Then he starts ranting about Russia,
Isn't that accurate?
and then he starts asking questions that he doesn't actually let David respond to.
We definitely moved too slow to recognize the activities that were happening on the platform.
Well,
but since
excuse me if interrupting, but I only got 5 minutes.
Then he starts talking about individual Facebook users that post articles that he thinks are not factually correct, because somehow that's relevant.
Truthful reporting has been displaced by flagrant displays of bullshit.
I don't know how to answer that question, Senator.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to answer that either.
I'd like a second round if we could, Mr. Chairman.
If we have time.
Don't worry, I have many more such stimulating questions.
And you say that you won't be sharing account information or financial data with Facebook.
Here, David Marcus attempts to explain how the Libra Foundation is not a wallet, and how not all wallets are run by Facebook.
We have designed this network in such a way that Facebook doesn't and won't control it or the currency, and that there will be plenty of competition.
He explains that there's competition in wallets, so there are going to be a lot of wallets out there that have nothing to do with Facebook, which is a good explanation for why they wouldn't be sharing data with Facebook.
First, there's interoperability. So regardless of the wallet you choose, you'll be able to pay across wallets, which is currently not possible.
I don't want to get into the technical stuff. I'm talking about the trust issue.
I don't want to get into the technical stuff. I don't want to actually understand this. I just want to ask my accusatory questions.
People can get all of the benefit from this network without using our wallet.
This one's about the choice that David mentioned, where he said that they wouldn't actually have to use Facebook in order to use Libra, and they wouldn't actually have to use Calibra in order to use Libra. They wouldn't even have to use Facebook's Libra wallet in order to access Libra. They have choice. They could go to another company.
Will the user have consent for their data being collected when they're using Calibra?
Yes, Senator.
So do they have to consent in order to use Calibra?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, so that's really no choice, right? So you're in order to use it, your data has to be collected. There's no option to opt out.
So she thinks people are being forced into Facebook's data collection policy. She clearly doesn't understand that there are other companies that can create Libra wallets. Second, she's really angry that in order to use Calibra, people have to hand over their data. But it's actually people like her that have mandated the collection of this data.
Well, Senator, if you want to use the Calibra wallet, you will have to, for instance, authenticate and upload a government-issued ID. And if consumers don't want us to collect that government-issued ID, for instance, at the very first step, then, of course, they won't be able to use the service because we will be compliant to KYC regulation.
Because that's what the government says.
The goal of Libra is to reach the unbanked and underbanked, which is a noble goal. But it's important to remember that those who haven't utilized a bank or credit card will be more susceptible to scammers and predatory practices.
Financial literacy is really important, and that at the Libra Association, there will be grant and investment made into financial literacy. And as far as the Calibra wallet is concerned, not only will we have consumer protections that will protect your constituents if they ever have a fraud issue, but we will make sure that there's appropriate education in the product from the get-go.
Well, that was very helpful information, but that response doesn't actually address my concern.
Yeah, educating people has nothing to do with protecting them from scammers.
Let's just pretend it's the two of us having a conversation.
Okay, this guy here is the most condescending and arrogant of the lot. Take a listen.
Maybe before you do a new thing, and an enormously important thing, you should go ahead and make sure you've got your own shop fixed. Do you have specialized expertise with anti-money laundering, sanctions, prudential regulations, protecting financial information, preventing discrimination, and other violations of consumer financial laws?
Senator, I do, and my team
No,
does
sorry,
as well.
not you personally. Does Facebook have that?
Senator, through the team that I've assembled, yes, now it does.
Within Facebook?
Senator
You're talking
within
about the consortium.
Senator within Libra, which is the subsidiary that it created. It has the proper know-how to
So you hired
operate
up
in,
for this?
Yes, Senator.
Okay.
Lol. But David Marcus's response should have been, do you have those expertise? Also, never in a million years did I think that I would start sympathizing with Facebook. That's what this hearing's brought me to. The line of questioning is so bad that I kind of find myself on David's side. Don't worry, as the Libra development goes on, I'll go back to my standard rhetoric of don't trust it, I wouldn't go near it. But until then, stay tuned, and over the next few days, I'll keep you updated with all of the things that you might have missed from these hearings. At the very least, these hearings are all very entertaining.